So Marcus isn't actually here. That would normally get the pop out of the what is the thumbnail kind of thing. I'm guessing both of you looked at it already.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, this is Marcus is Roman, and Seth is the guy that convinced him to get the booster shot, and that's why Marcus is not here because he knows exactly what is about to go down. That's what this is. I mean, come on, ain't nothing worse. That's exactly what that guy probably looked like inside of the CVS or the Walgreens that say, "Hey, man, I got this booster shot for you. You do? Let me get it." And next thing you know, he can't be on the show. And I think his streak has ended. I don't know what his streak has begun, but he had an impeccable streak.
And then obviously I had the Forbidden Door kind of route.
So, Manny, I'm looking at this picture. The sad thing about it, I know Mickie James is older than Charlotte, but Charlotte looks a lot older than Mickie James.
Yep.
In this picture.
Charlotte. Remember when we on the show, Ryan referred to women? I can't remember where he was, but as weathered.
Yeah.
Charlotte looks weathered.
Yeah, but you know what? But then sometimes she'll have moments you'll be like, "Oh, okay, I get it." But then I don't.
Cool. That's called being fixed up in post.
The power of editing.
Makeup is always there.
Yeah.
And obviously the last one, Send Hook.
Send Hook? My order is already in. I might have that shirt next week.
I think I'm gonna order that shirt as well.
It's funny because Taz was never in any type of impeccable shape, but his son is like ripped and cut. Like he might be one of the best in shape performers in AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll be back. Oh, you got more to say?
I got nothing else.
Right. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome, everybody, to the Retro Untitled Eric and Manny Show featuring Ross, a.k.a. the Sharpshooters Podcast. I am Eric.
You did that. I thought you were going to mess that up.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
You didn't have to say featuring Ross at this point, because if you're including Retro, that means Ross is already part of it.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I felt like, you know how like in TV shows, I don't know if you guys had that, where they would have the regular cast and it'll be that one special person that always had top billing and featuring such and such. And I'm like, that's what I want to do in that situation. Did I ever get that title right again? No, because I put so much thought into saying that.
How much brain power did you use just to get that?
Manny, I was over 7,000 right there. Over 7,000. Clearly. You know, as Ryan used that diabetes Yu-Gi-Oh card, I might have used that memory loss Yu-Gi-Oh card, forgot everything else I want to talk about in this situation. But anyway, how are you chaps doing today on this fine Saturday evening for you guys and Saturday morning for myself?
Good, man. Good. It's been raining all day. It's now pitch black. I've not left the house all day, so it's been lovely.
Manny, what about yourself in your golden shower type of room?
Can you never refer to it as that ever
Golden
again?
Shower Studios.
Golden Shower Studios. It's a golden shower production. Yeah, it's all right. It's going well. I didn't really go out either today. Kind of just stayed in, one of those. Omicron may be coming close to getting to me. And then Lisa's not a guy inside the pharmacy that offered you a booster shot. As we alluded to at the beginning, Marcus is not able to join us because he is at home dealing with the side effects of being boosted by a random inside of a grocery store. So Marcus, boosted. You sound like you've been jacked.
Hey man, whatever. I mean, we send our goodwill wishes to you. And Marcus, good vibes going your way. So, Manny, your thumbnail had the biggest surprise, I think, of the week. If anyone who watched Friday Night SmackDown saw that Adam Pearce was given the task of finding an opponent for Roman Reigns because he had no opponent. Because clearly, when Roman confronted Brock Lesnar in the ring with Paul Heyman, and I think we should talk about that first, Roman wasn't too keen on the idea that Brock Lesnar came up with them just fighting. Manny, how did you feel about the overall segment with Brock, Roman, and Paul Heyman?
I think the funniest part, I didn't care too much about the Brock and Roman interaction. It was Paul.
It was Paul.
It's like, bitch, I loved you. That's what I got from it. And that was the funniest thing ever. And then Brock was all like, what were you doing? And then Roman like, don't talk to him like that.
No, it was like such a conflict of interest because even Shantae was watching SmackDown with me. She was like, why does he sound like that? I was like, because he's trying to portray a man who was scorned by that point. Ross, have you ever been in a situation that Paul Heyman has been where you've been done so wrong, but you decided to fire you because you needed employment that you still like, I can't believe you did this to me?
Yeah. He's Paul's stuck in a full-on love triangle right now, isn't he? He doesn't know what to do. He's got his two big meaty boys and he doesn't know which one to go with.
I mean, it was so much easier for him just to keep one on Raw and keep one on SmackDown. Yep. But clearly,
keep them apart. Separate
Brock
phones
Lesnar
for each one.
is doing what the hell he wants to do. The thing that I was most disappointed about this segment is that now that Brock is back reunited with Paul Heyman, we don't no longer get lumberjack Brock Lesnar. I mean, I missed the plaid overalls, just the man that I know is going to cut some meat up and stuff like that. Now he's like refined champion.
No, he's not refined. Yeah. He's just wearing a jacket. We don't know if he's refined yet. Because we still got the fun kind of Brock Lesnar when he did the whole acknowledge and Paul Heyman stick.
Mm.
Yeah,
that bit on Raw was really good. The acknowledgement, that was really good.
Because like literally to me, Royal Rumble is stacked, and Royal Rumble has always arguably been my favorite pay-per-view of all pay-per-views. I like it more than I do WrestleMania, and I know I might be alone in that. But the fact that you're getting Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar for the first time, and then you're getting Seth Rollins now against Roman Reigns, this is very intriguing. Raw, did this really pique your interest more for the Royal Rumble, or was the announcement of Mickie James even more interesting?
That announcement's really, like you say, interesting, fascinating. That, like, is that magical door now open? Is it? Are they going through it? Are they going to start teaming up with Impact in their war with AEW? Because it opens up some possible really interesting angles if they are going to go that way. But like you said, the Rumble card is stacked at the minute already. You've got the mixed tag match as well as the two title matches already on the card, plus the women's title match as well. It's going to be a good show.
I think it is the surprise of that there is a Forbidden Door element there now. It's like whether they continue to do that is another thing, because it's like, yeah, there's a lot of women in that Impact Women's division that you could see like raise the bar for Becky, because like if you look at the Raw side of things, outside of Bianca Belair at the moment, I can't see like a formidable proper challenger to that belt on Raw. So like if you were to even just open it up to like Impact, because like the only person really benefiting from this is Impact, because like they put a post on their Twitter feed of like how many people in the last 12 months they've worked with. It's just like, yeah, but like you need that. You're the people that are benefiting from that. It's not.
I was thinking of another question, but your response made me think of something else. Manny, do you think that maybe Impact, if they are working with WWE, do you think it could be more beneficial because WWE might be a little bit better of a partner than AEW? Because I always felt with the partnership between Impact and AEW, it was more about getting all of the AEW talent over and not even really acknowledging what Impact really brought to the table.
The thing is, it's how well they're going to do it. So you'd want to see, because the Royal Rumble was a bit of a difficult one to point out. Is this going to be a proper working relationship? Because Mickie James could come out there and just get dumped out within 2 seconds for all we know, and then they'd be like, and then it was like, oh, WWE kind of just took a shit on Impact Wrestling. So like, you kind of want to see if they do anything after it. Is the main thing I'd want to see.
Okay. For me, I think that it's an ingenious way to market the Royal Rumble without explicitly putting out that we may have surprises. Because I think that even by having someone who's a champion in another company participate while they're actively the champion or under contract makes you think, hey, what male wrestler can be put into this Royal Rumble? And quite frankly, the only person that we know that's in the Royal Rumble as we speak, unfortunately, is Johnny Knoxville. I don't understand.
Dominic. You got Dominic in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, well, Manny, I have not watched Monday Night Raw, so clearly I did not know that.
So
but
I think the people you've got announced for the Royal Rumble so far are Dominic and Rey Mysterio and the Street Profits and Johnny Knoxville. From what I remember.
Yeah, and Sheamus as well. Sheamus announcing he was in the Rumble.
So, Manny, I follow Dawkins on Instagram. And I guess he did an interview that he posted where he talked about the possibility of Montez going solo and how he would be the greatest. Like he has a lot of rock in him, and he was hoping that if he does go solo, he could still be there in his corner to watch his back. Do you think the seeds of 2022 is that the year Montez break free of Angelo Dawkins, Manny?
I think it has to be. Like I don't. When you note them as a Triple Crown tag team champions of like NXT, SmackDown, and Raw, there's not much else they can really do. There's only so much you can do as a tag team, and especially when you see the talent Montez Ford has, you can't hold him back. You look at him, and you're like, you can't hold someone like that back. They have to have a decent singles run.
And I think it's very, because when you compare the Street Profits and you compare the Usos as a tandem are far superior than like individual singles wrestlers. It's like
I don't know. Main event Jay was kind of good.
He was good, but he was only good because of what Roman was doing to him.
Yeah.
And it's like if you didn't have Roman being that common denominator, I don't think we would have cared about Jey Uso. And I think the Usos arguably could be one of the greatest tag teams to ever be in WWE. And quite frankly, them staying together for me would be like the best thing ever. The only problem is they have no competition. Like there is nobody that they can bring in. I think a dream match that Marcus and I was talking on the phone, it probably would never happen. If you bring in the old ass Briscoes, that would be quite interesting to see the Usos versus the Briscoes, because you have the Samoan Grimy versus the Delaware Grimy. It'll be very interesting to say the least. Something else that I think is going to be very interesting about the Royal Rumble, if the match does happen, I think the Intercontinental Championship match, if Sami Zayn versus Nakamura actually happens, I think that match can possibly steal the show. I didn't care about Sami versus Rick Boogs because of all the Knoxville thing, but I was just thinking about Nakamura versus Sami because Sami is arguably one of my favorite performers in WWE, and I think that any role that they give him, he excels in. Ross, do you think Nakamura and Zayn could actually steal the show at Royal Rumble?
Definitely. Just look back at their match at, was it NXT TakeOver Dallas? I think it was. That their match there was absolutely incredible. And if they can put even on like 3/4 of that match at the Rumble, it will steal the show. It'll be the best wrestling match we'll have seen, kind of obviously this year, but it could be right up there at the end of the year if they go full for it.
I ask you both this question though. Like that TakeOver match was incredible.
Yeah.
They're not going to be given easily any of the amount of time that they would on the main roster on that Royal Rumble show. You'll probably get about 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most.
So
will it be as good?
So would you prefer for the match not to take place on the Royal Rumble, so it can maybe take place on SmackDown where they'll be given time to really highlight what they can do? Because
I think it would be better on the SmackDown, and it's a second tier title, so it doesn't really necessarily matter if it's on the Royal Rumble, not as long as it's getting defended is what I care about more.
But see, I like how it is known that the Intercontinental Championship is a second tier title, but I think Sami in his post or pre-match interview, he brought so much more relevance of how he was screwed out of his title a year ago. And like, clearly this man was just in the title picture that he got screwed out by Brock Lesnar, but now he's more focused on his Intercontinental Championship. And then JK says, but consider the character of Sami. Can you have the same type of match as they did in 2016? I think the thing that you really have to be concerned about is the age of both performers. I think Nakamura has been nursing an injury, and I think it's been well documented that he has not defended that title for almost all of 2021. Like, all of 2021.
Yeah, he's embarrassed by how it looks. That hideous design of the new IC belt is just I can't look at it. Bring back the old belt. It looked really good. But I think Nakamura, if he's not injured, he needs something to kind of relight his fire. And a little feud with Sammy could be that.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. A feud that keeps getting ignited and we never have an end to it is Naomi and Sonya Deville. Somehow Naomi got out and got a match against Charlotte with the stipulation that if Naomi won, she would get a title shot against Charlotte. Clearly, Sonya Deville did not sanction this match and decided throughout the entire match to keep screwing Naomi over. Manny, are they going to give us Naomi and Sonya at Royal Rumble? Because I don't know if it needs to be there.
I don't think they would, but everything Sonya did in this match made this match better than it actually was. Because if it ended in count out, we would have been pissed. If it ended in a DQ, we would have been pissed.
Yeah.
So that the fact that we had one of Naomi's probably better matches in a long time because of Sonya making all these changes, I think it really paid off.
They're both in the Rumble as well, Naomi and Flair. So they
Yeah.
could be they could have some sort of interaction there during the match. But yeah, I can't see Sonya getting in the ring anytime soon. Unfortunately, because she's a shame. She's really, really good.
What I really liked about the whole subplot of the Sonya thing is that because Sonya was out there, harassing Naomi, she missed out on the opportunity for the glory of selecting who Roman was going to fight. Like the fact that little segment where Adam Pearce came in, like, while you were out there, management, I was on the phone. They said that I need to select the opponent for Roman, but you could come and help me. And I was like, wait a minute. Like she's been trying to, replace you for God knows how long. And now you want to consult with her. But going back to it, Charlotte did announce that she was going to do the Brock Lesnar shit and try to win the Royal Rumble. And so she could pick her opponent. If anybody ever accomplished this feat, would Charlotte be the first one to do it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
I think so also.
She's Vince's boy, isn't she? Definitely.
That's his cash cow. She gets whatever she wants. Whatever she wants.
Yeah,
regardless of what her daddy says.
that's an on the outside of the minute.
That's the gimmick from NXT. My daddy
but did you see the stuff about how the reason Becky Lynch is using Big Time Bex over the man now is because of Ric Flair, and there's this whole legal battle and stuff like that. But like, he's too old in the business to be bothered by stuff like this. Like, he should seriously just shut up. Like Tony Khan, shut the fuck up and just watch and do your own thing.
It's like clearly he survived the controversy of the helicopter that came out last year because his commercials are airing again. And it's like, dude, just let it go. Like, you ain't been the man for a long time. I mean, like, my favorite thing is when he took a shot at Becky because she took a picture with Migos. It's like, see, that's fake. And this is authentic. And I'm like, Ric Flair, the business that you were in your entire career was fake. Like, everything was make-believe. Like, you may have thought that you were the person, but, I don't know. I just don't know. And I'm going to skip Happy Corbin just because no one cares about that part. And I'll get to the main event. Prime example of never meet your heroes. That is also true. That's why you should never meet the sharpshooters or meet the guy inside of the pharmacy that says, "Hey, I got a booster shot for you."
We are not all assholes. I may betray. Actually, I am an asshole.
I mean, I'm glad that you thought about it. I think of the trio right now, Ross might be the nicest of us all. I mean,
I can't disagree with that. Yeah.
I mean, then we'll probably go to Marcus. Then me and you, Manny, we might get tied because
I think I'm a bigger asshole than you.
No.
I'm more upfront about it. I think I'm more upfront about it than you are.
Have I told you the stories about what take place at work that my friends seem to really get a kick out of? So we could be at work and we could have a conversation. If someone shows up that I don't like that is talking to us, while they're in mid-sentence, I'll just walk away. Like literally, just walk away.
Gotta admire that.
And they're like, Eric, did you know you walked? I was like, oh, I did that? Oh, I just really care what they would say. Yeah, so yeah, I have to work on that. I have to be a better person. I really do. But something that they need to work on, and I hope this is the last opportunity the New Day gets. I don't understand how they got a third chance to fight the tag team champions. I really thought that they were going to win this one, but clearly the Usos put a nail into that coffin. Now the Usos don't have an opponent. They're just very similar to how Roman was before the announcement was made. The match was fine, but are we tired of seeing it? Because they gave it to us once for free on SmackDown. Then it was at day one, and then it was on SmackDown again. I just think it was a little bit oversaturated with how many times we got that. Is that just an example of how bad the tag team division is on SmackDown, or where can we go now from here, Ross?
I don't know. I'm struggling to think of any other tag teams on SmackDown apart from Corbin and his buddy. Like, I could watch the New Day versus Usos all day, every day. It's brilliant, and it never disappoints. I like that the Usos have added the 3D now as well to their
the 1D
moveset.
The 1D.
The 1D.
The 1D, sorry.
The 1D. The 1D. Just through the table, too.
Yeah, through a table as well. That kind of puts the nail in the coffin. That should be it now. That they won't get another shot. I just feel bad for Kofi. Like, Kofi's fallen off so far from he was world champion, and now he's just handing out pennies to people.
Well, you know,
you have to play up the Woods thing because he's the king.
True, they'll get their time to shine, I suppose. But
yeah.
Kofi never really got his opportunity past that Mania match. That was it.
Once Kofi lost his chest, I knew it was over for him.
But the thing is, I said this on Tuesday. It was like, you didn't watch Raw, Eric, but so there was this nice piece where Paul Heyman really put over Big E, and Big E got to have this big like promo of like, I'm not going to sit down and just let this happen. I'm going to work hard and get what is mine back. But I said, like, with Kofi Kingston, he just lost to Brock, and we never heard anything of it ever again.
Yeah, he didn't say a thing about it, did he?
Yeah. Like, the only thing is we make jokes about it. They always make jokes about what took place at a situation with him. And I think the rumor, and I don't know if it's true or not, about Big E winning the Rumble, that would be very huge for his career. I mean, because then he's put into the place for that WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, do you think he goes to SmackDown then? Go after Roman? I know he's been drafted to Raw or whatever, but
I think the rosters are dead, man. I think after the Seth Rollins announcement, I don't know if there's really a brand separation, to be totally honest.
No.
Do you think they give it to him? Do you really think they would give it to him? So like let's look at the timeline of Big E from, let's say, December 2020, where he won the Intercontinental title on SmackDown, on the last SmackDown of the year. I think it was the New Year, Christmas Eve one. Christmas Eve edition of SmackDown. Then he went on to win the Money in the Bank. Then obviously cash in on Bobby Lashley and be WWE champion. Are they all in on Big E, or are they going to give him the Royal Rumble? Because the booking for Big E as champion wasn't that great.
No, I can't remember a single thing he did throughout his run as
champion. I know what he does, what he did, because I'm a Big E fan, but like none of it was that much of importance, because the fact that he got squashed by Roman like several times during that run. And
he's the second favorite to win the Rumble currently, behind Brock Lesnar, which doesn't make any sense. Why would Brock?
Yeah, and I say it's quite difficult. I say it's quite difficult at the moment now when you've got such big entities like Becky Lynch, Roman Reigns as champions whilst you're champion. It's hard to stand out.
But I think arguably, or what you can argue for on behalf of Big E in this situation, is that I think that he is the number one face in WWE. Like, when you think about the faces, he is the number one good guy. The problem is that he doesn't have that same traction that like a John Cena would have, because like the issue that is in all of professional wrestling, and I think it's been from the end of times, from the beginning of times, is that a face champion is a very hard champion to keep as your champion, because it's always better for the chase than it is for them to already have the championship, because at that point you can have that bad guy put so many obstacles in front of them and so many difficult things for them to get over is great. So when they finally achieve that goal, like when Big E got the title for the first time, it was like, oh, this is a fucking great moment. Like the boyhood dream is finally being lived. But then he's a good guy. And it's like, everybody else at WWE are bad guys. They're trying to do this thing where they're trying to make Bobby a face, but I don't know. But as JK said in the chat, Big E can be marketed outside of WWE. I think his run showed that, which could lead to a proper push. I think he was one of the best outside WWE champions since John Cena. I thought that his appearances that he made when he spoke on the radio, when he did promotion, he was very articulate. And I think that that's where you have to figure out at WWE, how can you make him keep the momentum after having the title? Because I think if he wins the Rumble, his road to regain his championship would be amazing. And if he is the one to finally beat Roman, that would even be more of a notch in his belt.
Do you think that's what was missing from the Big E run then? Because like I compare it to Bianca Belair, where she had Bayley the whole way through, kind of to elevate her towards Mania with Sasha, and then obviously being like in a weird tag team kind of thing with Sasha Banks as well, leading up to WrestleMania and all that. Do you think that was missing from the Big E run? There was nothing really to latch onto because he didn't have a good dance partner.
I think it's always a problem when you've got the briefcase. It kind of holds you back a little bit. Like, it gives you the opportunity to win the belt, but you can't build to it as much. Like, they tried by announcing it on Twitter and social media and stuff by saying that it's happening tonight. But when you know there's a feud happening for the belt, it brings more to it than just like announcing the match that is happening that day.
Yeah, I think Big E's, as Wes said, Big E is a better champion overall than Hangman Adam Page. I would agree with that. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out where I place Hangman at in this situation. But I think the biggest issue with the rise of Big E and even to his championship run was that he never got that separation away from New Day. It was still a little bit too much New Day orientated. And the one time where it would have made sense for the New Day was when Bobby destroyed Coffee, if he would have came out and avenged him right then and there. But that didn't happen. And that was a big letdown for me. But it's like, he has to really go all in with that new identity. Like when he changed his music, that was fine, but he was still dressing like New Day. It's just like, we need to see Big E. Like, these are your friends, but you need to be who you are now. And that's what I need to see.
Become Triple H when he just pitched DX basically to become the game. You have to.
Honestly, as JK says, a feud with Orton as a bad guy or even Owens could be very beneficial to him. It's just very interesting.
I felt the direction was going towards stuff like that because it just became a real big mess the moment it was a fatal 4-way. Then Roman got COVID and you had to Brock. Because if you believe what they were saying in the dirt sheets and stuff like that, was coming out of the fatal 4-way, if it was to happen and Brock wasn't supposed to be added to it, Big E was supposed to retain.
Yeah.
Well, my question for you guys, and this is just me being a person who likes to create speculation and turmoil. Do you think Roman really had COVID? Like, could this have always been the plan for Brock to have the title? Because, like, quite frankly, this is probably one of the more seamless storylines WWE has weaved since it's really where, like, Brock gets the title. Now, all of a sudden, like, Brock is jumping to both shows. Roman's like, I'm not going to fight you. I don't care. You go be happy in Raw land. I got my SmackDown title. You have now all these random people fighting each other. It just seems like the structure of WWE hasn't really been this organized in a long time that they were able to make these spontaneous decisions so quickly that it all fell in line. So I'm like, it could have been that Roman was sick, but it just seems like he was sick for day one, but now he's cleared to appear on SmackDown right away. Just seems really quick. I don't know.
For a man with his previous health issues as well, you'd think he'd take a bit more time to get right, stay off TV, just make sure he's fully good. It is a very convenient run of events that led to where we are now. Yeah, definitely.
And quite frankly, yes, Big E was a sacrificial lamb, but let's be honest. This shit is entertaining. I'm intrigued by it. It's like the whole Paul Heyman segment, like, but I loved you, my tribal chief. It's like, it's Marcus and Whiteface. I mean, Manny, do you think there's any credibility that maybe they just pulled him off and used? Because I mean, yes, Roman was yearning to be there, but he was not there. That yearning wasn't that strong.
Well, I felt like it. I don't feel like it was real. Like, it could be. There could be a case of it, but like there was this massive emphasis on this week's SmackDown, the SmackDown, the few SmackDowns before where it was making reference to Brock Lesnar being the longest reigning Universal Champion there is, and how Roman is getting closer and closer day by day to that number. And you skipping this whole thing because there may have been a plan that Brock may have taken the title off him or something like that. So you give him COVID, this prolongs it a bit longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued. I hate to see E get pinned, but it also, as him being a babyface, being pinned gives him more motivation to be better.
He didn't need to pin. That was my only issue with the whole thing. He shouldn't have been pinned. You could pin Seth, you could pin Kevin Owens. It doesn't matter. They can take pins and losses and come back the next night like it even happened. Like, to do it to the babyface champion, that's the issue.
Yeah, in the chat, El Luchador said, guys, great episode of Retro Raw. The Forbidden Door was open for that Raw. And then on the DL said, and then on the DL says, it was one of the few times WWE mentioned COVID directly. I did find that a little sus. And that's for me, like, they never really mentioned it, but it's like, I don't know. It was very convenient. And then, of course, AEW did the same thing, but we'll talk about that afterwards. So back to the original question. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Does that get you excited, Manny? Does the Golden Shower Room get excited about that?
Can you stop calling it the Golden Shower Room? I can't do anything. That the walls are cream, and then when I should on them, they become creamer. I'm intrigued. It makes the Royal Rumble must watch, as it already is must watch. It makes you want to watch. What's the new word? It's not pay-per-view anymore.
Premium live event.
Yeah, there you go. Pay-per-view is now a banned word on commentary.
Yeah, or just on the network for us. Over fine. I'm all about Seth versus Roman. I love Seth. He's my guy. I mean, I wore that suit. I've got this on right now. It's a horrible shirt. It really is a really bad shirt.
That's a very bad shirt.
Do you know that shirt actually looks like Karrion Kross than it does Seth Rollins?
Can you know, since we had our production meeting, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell is he wearing? And I'm like, now you tell me, I see the Seth Rollins logo in there. I was like,
I knew it was a Seth Rollins shirt, but I just didn't. I didn't actually put the two and two together that was Seth Rollins' face.
I think it says for the greater good on the back of it as well. Don't know. It's a rubbish shirt compared to some of Seth's other shirts.
Though, does anybody know why Seth Rollins showed up to work on Friday? Because if everything was so spontaneous, was he just chilling in the back, waiting like, ha, I was here waiting for the opportunity, Adam. I knew you was gonna pick me. But is it me? And I know I haven't watched Raw in a while, but I know about the relationship between him and Kevin Owens. I look forward to Monday to see how upset Kevin Owens is going to feel about Seth Rollins getting this title shot. Like,
I don't think Kevin's going to be on Raw because him and his family got COVID.
Oh,
it's going to massively deplete the Rumble. Have to get some more Impact guys in.
Yeah, or more Ring of Honor guys in.
Yeah. Get Moose in the Rumble.
Well, that's what Marcus is asking for, Moose.
That'd be fantastic.
You know. El Luchador says that I can't buy a wrestler's merch unless I like the design, even if I like the wrestler. You know, El Luchador, I'm so glad that you're here in the chat room because you're one of the big AEW supporters. And so we need to move on to talk about the Rampage. The Rampage. So let's start off with the Rampage with the thing that I think the announcers annoyed the hell out of me. It's like the first match was Adam Cole versus Jake Atlas. And then the announcer said something. Both of these guys were in the same company, but they never faced each other. And I'm like, there's a reason why they never faced each other. It's the same reason why Jake Atlas was released by WWE. Adam Cole was in the mid-upper. He was in the main event, and Jake Atlas was struggling to be relevant in that company. And clearly, they didn't see anything from him. Manny, Jake Atlas' debut. He was 1-0 going into this match. Did you get anything from him? Although he tapped out to one of the weakest leg bars I've seen, or knee locks I've seen in a long time.
Because he actually injured his leg. He actually was injured. That's why that was done.
All right.
He actually injured, so he couldn't actually fully take the Panama Sunrise for that. But I've said numerous times, and Marcus has said numerous times on the Untitled Man and Marcus show, there's nothing to Jake Atlas other than his sexuality. There's nothing to the man. He is so boring in ring and everything. The only thing that stands out about this man is that he's gay, and that shouldn't be the thing. That shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, that shouldn't be relevant to him at all. I'm looking at a picture of him. I've never seen him before. He looks like a great wrestler.
He's been on NXT a few times, but other than that, it's just like he's kind of there. He's kind of just there, other than just his sexuality. That's the only thing that you know or know anything about. He's just a jobber, much like what El Luchador has said. He's a solid jobber, but it's just Tony Nese.
Yeah. But like the thing about it, and this is where I have an issue with, is that we could all agree that AEW destroyed NXT, destroyed them, like made them run to Tuesday night. That's how badly they were beat. They took their tail and they ran home. However, when they beat them, all the people that they're bringing into their company was on that show. You can't put these people on your show and now tell me that they're great. Or am I missing something, Ross?
No, not at all. The names they're bringing across, like Adam Cole's gone from headlining NXT pay-per-views to opening matches on Rampage, which is what, the B show, is it? I don't know how Dynamite.
No one knows what these shows are.
I'm assuming Dynamite's the A show, but I don't know. Like, yeah, he's not featured anywhere near as much as he was. I know it was on the secondary brand NXT, but he was the guy. Him and the Undisputed Era are the guys on there, and now he's opening Rampage against some guy I don't even know.
But the thing about the announcers, because for whatever reason, maybe it's who I am, and maybe because I do a podcast and I like to pay attention to broadcasting, broadcasters announced it that the rankings have reset for 2022, and now Adam Cole is somehow the number one contender for the title. No explanation how he got there if everybody's record is 0-0. Did we take into consideration from what he did in past? Because he hasn't really beat anybody to deserve this shot. Manny, you have taken more scrupulous notes about AEW. Can you explain to me the rise of Adam Cole being the number one to face Adam Page? And I'm just going to be more confused. Adam Page versus Adam Cole.
I don't think Adam. I think when you look at strength of opponent, if you're taking these rankings seriously, Adam Cole shouldn't be up there. But they've made a big deal about on Dynamite that MJF got DQ. He got DQ'd on Dynamite, so like that should realistically lower him in the rankings. But like no one else is having like really like decent matches that you would be put up there, because in my opinion, Bryan Danielson's still number 2 or number 1 in that ranking.
In my opinion, the thing is, the only matches Adam Cole has participated is trio matches with the Young Bucks. So technically, the Young Bucks should have just as much claim to that number 1 title shot as he does. Like it's asinine. But you know, Manny, since you did open up that door, I'm going to walk through the door of Dynamite, and I will say, I enjoyed the match between Adam Page and Bryan Danielson. Although they booked themselves into a bad corner with their original match of having that 60-minute draw. The fact that I really hated about the match was all the storytelling that they did such a piss poor job of doing going into the match. Do not give me 3 judges for this match, and you don't even tell me the criteria that they're judging. To what would they be looking for? Like, are we counting takedowns? Are we counting pins? Are we who made the person bleed? Like, how do you judge a wrestling match? And the fact that it never made it to the judges card did not disappoint me, but I felt that they did take a cop out, because to get past the 60-minute draw, they had to come up with something different. And that's where the blood came into play. It was gruesome. It was gory. And I feel like people enjoyed that. And it was a fine match. But, you know, now Adam Page has no one to fight, except now it's Adam Cole for some strange reason.
I'm looking at the rankings and they don't make any sense to me. So this is official rankings as of Friday, January the 7th. So yesterday, Adam Cole's number 1. He's got a 0-0 record.
Yes, because it resets.
Is Wardlow. He's got 1-0. So
wait. So he would be 1-0 if you take in consideration Rampage.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Okay, so 1-0. Wardlow would be. He didn't fight on Rampage, did he? So he's 1-0.
He fought on Dynamite, but he had like he powerbombed someone
streak,
5 times
before that anyway.
Man, I ain't never seen Wardlow lose, man. I ain't never seen him lose.
Yeah, but who's he fighting? He fights people that I don't even remember their names.
They're not trios, they're singles matches.
This is where I get confused. Bryan Danielson's at 3 with 0-1 record. Scorpio Sky is 4 with a 1-0 record. How does that work? How is he above another guy?
They're going by opponent, and
they have a fucking strength of schedule in AEW.
Well, since I need to talk about it, let's talk about my favorite moment, because I don't know if anybody's watching Battle of the Belts tonight. However, there is a caveat, because apparently Cody may have COVID, or he might wants to be Roman Reigns. I'm not 100% sure what it is. However, I do not understand the concept of having an interim match for the title. And you're putting Sammy Guevara not against number 2, who's ranked to get the title, but against his brother. Like, it made no sense. And the fact that they had Dan Lambert appear on Rampage and point out how flawed the thinking was behind this match even angered me more. Manny, please explain to me the Cody situation.
It doesn't make any sense, but now that they're having an interim title for a title that doesn't need an interim title, they could have just went, oh, do you know what? At Battle of the Belts, this match ain't happening now. We're just going to throw in, we'll give you a good, decent, what did they throw? They threw in the FTW title anyway this week.
Yes.
on Rampage. So you could have just made that match longer than it could have been, and then just go, okay, this is going to happen on Dynamite when Cody's back and fit and ready.
Or maybe, Manny, have Scorpio Sky fight Sammy Guevara for the interim title.
Yes, it made more sense.
I ain't seen Dustin Rhodes on TV and God knows how long.
It don't make sense why Dustin Rhodes has been putting this.
I was so angry at that point. But the good thing about it, they calmed my anger down because they gave me Hook, and that's all I need. Send Hook. It calms me down. And as I'm sorry, Shantae said this when we were watching the match. She says, "Oh wow, he kind of looks like a 99-cent version of Damian Priest," and he was talking about Aaron Solo, and I was like, "Wow, you're right, he does," because she didn't have her glasses, so she was like, "He kind of reminds me of Damian Priest," and I was like, "Oh yeah, 99-cent version." Hook is Hook, but technically, Hook should be number 1 to fight Adam Page for the title because his record is in back of it too, and he had a stronger schedule. And I just go back to it, get rid of the rankings, and then I wouldn't have to have anything to bitch about.
It just confuses things. There's no need for them.
The rankings don't make sense anyway, because the rankings don't make sense anyway. It's bad for storytelling, which they should be supposed to be doing.
Aaron Solo is his name.
He used to be Mr. Bailey. Bailey.
The match that I just don't get, because poor Ruby Soho. She got caught up into the wave of the Jade, Tony Khan, Big Swole, and all that good stuff. And Ruby Riott, or Ruby Soho, is being what Ruby Soho was in WWE, a fall person, quite frankly. But she was put into a match where she teamed with Rio to face Britt Baker and the person who cannot buy new wrestling attire, Jamie Hayter. And again, Britt Baker can't beat Rio in any type of matches, and that caused dissension amongst their group. Ross, you're fairly new to the AEW world. Do you care about any of the
He's not in the AEW world. Don't put this like he's new to the AEW. He does not watch AEW.
That makes him new.
No. He only does it because if he's on the show, he has to look up the rods. He hasn't watched Rampage.
I've never watched Rampage. I watched Dynamite on New Year's Eve. I watched, is it Dan Lambert? He's my favourite. He's great. He was just...
Dan Lambert just comes on there. He hates.
Just run his mouth races.
He speaks the truth.
He does. He was brilliant. Dan
Lambert should be just in the Truth Commission by himself.
You know what Dan Lambert? Know what WWE needs to do? Let me tell you. They need to release Trick Williams. AEW needs to sign Trick Williams, put him behind Dan Lambert so he can say, "Talk that talk, Dan. Talk that talk." That's what I want to see.
I just want a Vince McMahon tweet acknowledging that Dan Lambert exists.
Dan, when you shoot, you don't miss, Dan. You don't miss, Dan. You don't miss. And then, the main event is 2.0 with Danny Garcia versus Eddie Kingston and Santana Ortiz. And quite frankly, I was just like, it's a spectacle. It's a trios match that AEW is known for. it was fine for what it was, but I think the ending of Eddie Kingston being duct taped to the ropes and the slow fat Jericho making the save, and that makes 2.0 run when they have already destroyed Jericho. And then next thing you know, you see Eddie Kingston break out of the tape restraints with no problems. Like, I was like, I don't need any of this. And that's how Rampage ended. So outside of Hook, I didn't care about anything else on Rampage.
Well, I like slow fat Jericho. I'm looking forward to that bit.
So me and Ross watched another slow run-in this week with Kane making a save on Raw's Retro, and I think Kane with less effort was still faster than Jericho running.
So was this the out of shape period of Kane's career?
That's the very beginning.
This
of
is
Kane.
brand new.
Oh, this
Kane.
is when he was Green Kane.
Yeah.
Man. Whenever he becomes eligible, right? He is the first ballot Hall of Famer, correct?
He is eligible.
Well, I mean, I know there's no like 2-year wait period or whatever like it.
It's
but
not
like,
the NFL.
I don't think anybody will ever say, you know what, he don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I think Kane is kind of what Sheamus is. He was always there and always there to be a hand when you need somebody to be there.
He'll go in this year, I reckon.
I think so. Who, Manny and Ross? What, Ross, you can't answer this question, so I asked Manny. Manny, who is the Kane/Sheamus for AEW? Who is that person that just gets the job done? Is it Bryan Danielson?
Yeah, but you don't want to. That's a cop out. I feel like that's a cop out answer for them because he's just been there since June.
Okay, so who's of the original?
You would always want to go. I want to say Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston does what's needed for AEW.
And Lucha, what do you mean Sheamus is no Kane? I feel like they were both people that you can plug in at any point, and people always cringe. It's like, oh shit, another Sheamus match, but then he goes out there, he has a great match, but you'd be like, oh, why is Sheamus always there? Or
you know what? No, but I kind of agree with him. Like Sheamus, if you throw Sheamus into anything now, you're just like, oh cool, I'm getting a Sheamus match.
Yeah.
At no point did I ever go, oh great, I'm getting a Kane match.
That is also true. But you could also say though, Manny, your palate has changed a lot in professional wrestling where you appreciate Sheamus a lot more than maybe back say with Kane, because when you didn't really care as much about the wrestling back in the day, Kane coming out was a big deal. Oh my God, it's Kane. It's Kane. Like, you know.
You remember there was a time where Kane and Big Show were actually doing catch as catch can wrestling.
I also remember there was a time on the show when Marcus and I were complaining about Kane always being involved in every match. So it's like, and now he's the mayor of Knox County that I think he's up for re-election. Go out there and vote for Kane. He's going to promise more jobs for Knox County. I don't know what that means, but you know, hell to Kane. So Manny, you know, I'll pass hosting duties over to you. Is there anything that you want to know? Because I don't know what else is there to talk about. Oh, I do have one more thing to talk about. Sorry, I take that away from you. You know, WWE released some people as they normally do. You know, around this time, it's always letting people go here and there. And you know, everybody gets up in arms. I think Samoa Joe was released, William Regal was released, and whatnot. But William Regal came out and actually had a very positive and respectable response that, you know, that WWE gave him opportunities and whatnot. The thing that I have a question for both of you is that this is the thing that I always see when people get released from WWE, because you have wrestling fans like, oh, we want new stars, we want new this, we want new that. But as soon as someone gets released from WWE, oh, you need to come here so we can see this match that we've seen 100 times again in AEW. What is that rationale in thinking? I don't get it personally. I think Ross, I'll go with you first. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, you've already seen it. You don't need it again. Like, I don't need to see CM Punk fight Daniel Bryan Bryan Danielson, whatever the fuck he's called these days, in AEW, because I saw it. It happened. I remember that. I don't need it again. And I really hope Regal doesn't. I've got a strong feeling Regal won't go to AEW or anywhere else. I think he's just going to go home and enjoy some sort of retirement, or however retired you can be as a wrestler.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. I think they just didn't have a place for him anymore. But like, I know when they saw Samoa Joe name get released, oh, we would love to see Samoa Joe versus CM Punk again. I'm like, no, They
Go
are.
watch it. It's available to watch when they're in their
Those two
primes.
can't go an hour again. They can't go an hour anymore. They're very old. The last. Do you know what? I was very disappointed in Samoa Joe the last time I saw him wrestle.
Yeah,
where he
So-
was
He's not
gassed
Samoa
within
Joe
5
anymore.
minutes.
So El Luchador in the chat room says it's insane with all of these releases. Imagine you have 7 hours of TV to produce and you keep making record profits only to release people during a pandemic. Well, I mean, arguably, the thing about it is that a lot of people in the release that they did this time, they were stagehands and production agents, so they weren't even on TV. And let's not forget the point that when they have their 90-day no compete clause, they're still getting paid for that 90 days. It's just that now they're given opportunities to go work someplace else and make money. I kind of feel like corporations do this all the time. If we have no use for you, we're going to let you go.
Look at video game companies. They do it every other week.
Yeah.
Release hundreds of people.
I read a report somewhere that was saying AEW was trying to be different to WWE, where they would just keep you under contract till it would run out, and then they probably just wouldn't renew your contract. But I feel like that.
And then call you a bad wrestler afterwards.
I feel like that's more of an imprisonment if they just kept you there.
Do you know what that is, Manny? That's what WCW did.
Yeah,
just sent people home and paid them because they didn't need them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point paying someone to do nothing? Like, you could like throw them in something here and there, but why would you waste your efforts on doing something for someone that's not really you don't really have a major plan for?
But like the thing is, he says it's not a shitty thing to do. It is pretty shitty, but some of these people probably asked for their release. Toni Storm asked for her release and she got it. So
I don't think she asked. I think she just quit.
Whatever it was just like, hey, I just, it's such a doggy dog world. And Marcus told me on our phone call that we had before he was boosted, he says that I guess he read someplace that AEW lost $8 million or something. And I was like, I don't care how much money Tony Khan's dad has, you cannot have a company that loses money, especially that much money year in and year out, and expect to be around.
Eric, I think that was due to the video game that they're producing.
How does a video game cost you that much money?
I don't know, but I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was cited before. There hasn't been anything come out like about their new numbers and stuff like that. But that's what they were citing before, that their lost K was coming from the money that they're pumping in towards the video game.
Remember the TNA game? That was really good.
I mean, like, if this game costs you $8 million, this may be the best wrestling game ever. Here comes the pain. I'm sorry.
But if it costs $8 million, can you imagine how much you have to sell in order to how many units you have to sell in order to recuperate any of that back?
Yeah.
Hey, Manny, I got a spoiler for you. I bet you didn't know this, but wrestling fans are cheap. We don't pay for shit.
Yeah, I ain't buying a new game.
It's like, let me call Lincoln. We're not gonna pay for this pay-per-view. Like, that's why like the whole move to like the Peacock and having a network made sense, because like people were a little bit more able to give away with $10, but like that $60 price tag for an AEW pay-per-view, it's hard for me what I pay for it, and I don't get it back in taxes.
But do you know what?
Money you spent on pay-per-views every year.
Do you know what though? The AEW pay-per-view on paper never looks great, but then you always end up with a good show. It's just that they do a terrible job selling it to you. Like $60, if Eric, you've spent money on an AEW pay-per-view recently.
I have.
On paper, we trashed it. We said it was garbage, but like the show they put on was really good. It's just that they didn't sell it to us very well.
Can I actually say my biggest issue with AEW events that you have to pay for is really they're too damn long. Like it's like watching Wrestling Kingdom every four months. It's like, God damn, I don't need all these matches.
No, and they're good matches as well. You don't have a shitty one where you can just relax a bit, like how we had on day one, where like we didn't feel like really tired watching it. Like when I watched the AEW pay-per-view, I was like, oh man, I need to pause this.
That's why I like the network pay-per-views. They're so much better. They're so much shorter. And I can deal with WrestleMania over 2 days. That's great.
El Luchador is really upset about the releases. He says, because people are broke, Eric. Probably because billionaires who make record profits fire their employees. Yeah. I mean, or they pay them a shit wage. I mean, that's how It's a very doggy dog world, but I feel like WWE is held to a level that it's unfair because they're not AEW. Let's get that straight. They are not funded by one man. They are a publicly traded company, and it's their obligation, whether we like it or not, they have to make profit for their shareholders. At the end of the day, you have to make your shareholders happy, and that's just how it works. Any company that's traded on the stock market, if we were traded on the stock company, I may not want to praise AEW, but if my boss says, "Hey, Eric, we need you to go in there. We need you to be positive about AEW because they want to sponsor a show," I would have to say, you know what? I have to be positive or I have to take my bag and quit. Just saying. It's awful. But it's all the people that they released, though, they weren't even using on TV anyway. I'm surprised that still some people haven't been released, like the Viking Raiders. Like,
they're a tag team on SmackDown.
They were in a segment that I didn't even want to talk about.
We were like puzzling, like, oh wait, who's the tag team on SmackDown? They actually wrestled on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And to the credit of Madcap Moss and all, it wasn't a bad match. It's just that I don't want to see Happy Corbin at all. Like, no. I miss Broke Corbin. I miss Baron Corbin. Bring back the Baron, man.
Oh wait, The one thing we failed to mention in that match. Madcap actually did the most agile move and it failed. Where he run on the boss man slide from under the rope back around and then he failed.
At some point soon, they're just going to release the entirety of 205 Live, aren't they? And the internet's going to go mad. But no one's watching that shit.
205 Live is becoming a half an hour show just promoting the additional NXT talent.
Yeah. But people are going mad when all those guys get released, but you're not watching them. You're not tuning in to watch that show anyway.
Ali was actually trying to put his hat in the casting bit, like, hey, I could play this role in some movie. And I was like, man, shoot your shot.
So was the Bollywood boys.
I mean, like, shoot your shot. We're all out here like, hey, we can do this. We're here for you. And then they'll probably pick some white guy that they'll put makeup on to play the role.
No, their casting call was actually for an Asian man.
Yeah, but that could always turn to something different. Like, we want an Asian man, but can you be Asian and white mixed together? Like,
yeah, can you just have brown eyes and just look like you have a tan?
Yeah, we can put mascara on you and go from there. You know, it's like we could do that for you. But I mean, overall, like when I see the releases, I'm like, the sad part about it is because WWE is a publicly traded company. They have to announce the releases, I believe. And when AEW let people go, they just disappear off of TV because, spoiler, I don't think Joey Janela was re-signed by AEW. I think he was let go.
They're talking about that about Marco Stunt as well. They might not even bring him back. They might not renew his contract. I mean, which is why he never wasn't even out there with the Jungle Express.
Can I say, and this might be crazy, Christian was an upgrade. I mean, I hated Marco Stunt. I was like, who's this dude? Well, did I want to see him lose his job? No. But I mean, did I want to see Big Swole lose her job? No. But according to Tony, she can't wrestle. But Jade can. Apparently, that was a hard match to watch, man. That was a hard match to watch.
She's bad. She is really bad at wrestling.
She's got a great look. Man.
She's got a great look. That's the problem with it. It's like, did they rush her? Rush her?
Arguably, you could be doing what WCW did with Goldberg. Like Goldberg, when he first started his streak, he couldn't wrestle.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just that they put a belt on him. I mean, Jade Bird, come on. I mean, like, I just know that it's very limited of who she can wrestle. But then also, I'm very confused about the title because Britt really is not the best wrestler either. So, which title do we hold more prestigious? Like, is it the AEW Women's Champion? Because the TBS Championship looks better, especially since they got the space between the T and the B.
Now, isn't there? Oh God.
So, you know, I don't know, man. I'm just so confused. But
ignore me. I'm getting tech advice from JK Smush
about what?
Microsoft Teams on my work laptop. Just ignore me.
Wait, damn. So being an Apple for as long as I've been in Apple, like when someone says you need to update your drivers, I'm like, shit, that is a thing that you used to have to do.
That is a proper Microsoft thing to do, and I don't know how to do it or care about it. Like most things when you speak to your IT people in your own company, they'll do anything but do the thing you want them to do. All I wanted them to do was uninstall Microsoft Teams and then reinstall it. That's all they had to do. But they did everything but do that. So I had to suffer with not being able to use my own Microsoft Teams, and people were unable to contact me properly. So it's like, oh, just send me an email. It's like, I'll probably won't understand what you're trying to get out in the email, but I can't communicate with people otherwise.
and isn't Microsoft Teams just like another version of Skype? Because they bought Skype and they just put Microsoft Teams over top of it and things like that.
It's just Skype with GIFs.
Yeah, basically.
If you want to talk about if everybody knew before in 2019, if you should have invested in all these web marketing and network things, like you've been a rich man right now. Like WebEx, Teams, Skype. I mean, this is crazy. Everybody working from home.
If I listened, do you know, if I go back to the time where it was like 8 years ago when someone first told me to invest in Bitcoin. If I listened to him now, I'd be rich.
But Manny, there's also a possibility if you listen to that person, you would have been broke too.
Yeah, but I think you didn't have to put that much money into it. Like,
but I always feel like that there's a reason why we don't follow everybody's advice in a situation, because most of it is bad. It's like, hey man, you really need to get this booster shot right now. And the next thing you know, you laid on the shelf and you can't be on the show. And your streak is broke.
You know what? He's not going to watch any of this.
I know he's not.
Watch the show. I'm going to clip every time we've mentioned it. And you'll have to watch the best of.
As El Luchador said, if you were in Congress, you could have invested in all that insider knowledge. Yes, you could have. You could have known never to buy WWE stock. And quite frankly, full disclosure, I am a WWE stockholder, so that's why I have to be extremely positive about WWE. I own one share.
They make money every year.
One share,
man. First of all, don't get the Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory teacher on me. One share. Don't do that to me. Don't. Yes, I got one share.
No, but like, do you know, like, because I've got to know you so well. Like, I see you, Eric, move to the left a bit, move to the right a bit. You got PS5 behind him. He's got all these games. That's what TV. He's got all these games in like plastic that haven't been opened before. Like, I've got a catalog of everything where this guy is constantly spending money on things. You would think
this game is fun. Just let everybody know.
You would think. You would think he would have more than one share.
So
that's all I'm getting at.
I don't like the stock market. It's too much like gambling. I rather buy in things that depreciate than buy things that may gain money. Because I don't like to buy something like, hey, I'm going to spend $60 on this with the hope that it's going to make money. Because every time it loses money, like, God damn it, I could have bought this game instead.
This is why I got rid of all the comics I owned. There was no money in it.
Manny, we don't want to talk about comics because if you thought video games was bad, comics was just as bad too. Because I would buy comics and they would still be in there. Like, I would never. Oh man. Oh wait, what? You getting more? So
do you know this person, Ross? Chris Roddick. Yeah. I'm sure Ross had the original PlayStation before Sony released it.
Did you have the original PlayStation before everybody had it, Ross? I need to know.
The very first one. No.
What was the very first one? That was the gray one with the lid that popped open, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I had that one.
Oh, that was the one.
That was the one I mod. That was the first time I ever modded anything.
I need to download Mass Effect Legacy Edition for my Xbox.
Yeah,
so I won't play it.
It's not bad. 3 games.
Yeah, I mean it's free on Game Pass. Well, it's not technically free because you pay the membership fee, but
Yeah,
that's a massive download though.
Nah, 30 gig's fine.
It's all right.
NBA 2K22 is fucking 120 gig.
NBA 20. don't make no goddamn sense.
Far too big.
It don't. And it's on all the systems, on the Switch, on the play. It's like 100 gigs, man. What the hell?
No,
Hey,
the problem I had with, do you know Forza Horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is like I think it's
100.
110.
Hundo.
I thought the smart thing would be, let me just transfer it over from my Xbox One to my No, it transferred, so I wasted I downloaded 110 gigs, and then it was like, no, it's not the right one, so we're gonna update it. So the update was 90 gigs. I was like, so I've just sat here for 6 hours downloading 200 gigabytes.
But Manny, as you guys can tell, all the wrestling portion of the show is over. So if you have any other questions about anything else outside of wrestling, this is the time. Manny, I thought you were done with Forza. Why are you downloading updates?
No. This is historic information.
Oh, okay.
When I first got my Xbox Series X, because I had no games on it at a point, and it was just like, oh, what do I do?
But the funniest thing what I learned about you, Manny, and I think it was just last week when I asked what type of games that you play, like you went all out your way to get an Xbox Series X just to play sports, sports games, and it's like, oh, I'll play anything else, and I'm like, that's a lot of effort. You should have just got a Switch.
Actually, do you know what? Michael Abson, he recommended
shout out Rad Gnarly.
He recommended Gunk on the
Gunk, on Game Pass.
It's actually a really good game.
Really? So I should download that too.
Yeah. I played it. I've maybe gotten into an hour of it.
But maybe we should create the Game Pass show of the Untitled Eric and Manny Game Pass show, where we actually put our Xbox to use and use Game Pass to play games.
I've been telling you for weeks we should be playing Back to Blood. You can't find time to play it.
I've been waiting for an invitation to you. I don't know what your schedule. Clearly, it's morning over here in this night where you're at. I mean, I'm not trying to keep you up all night.
I could use a break from all this thirst trapping on the mid-card mess.
I thought maybe that's what you used Becca for. I don't want it. So one thing about me, Manny, and this is like, as I'm reading my vampire book, I am more like a vampire. You have to invite me in. I will not do it. If you say, hey, Eric, let's play, I'll be like, okay. But I don't like rejection. I don't like saying, hey, let's play. Like, I'm the type of person that'll send a text and be like, why the fuck this person hasn't responded? Like, what's taking so long? What, are they ignoring my text? Then I like it. So that's why I try not. I do.
Why are you so paranoid? Like you live in a world where if you text Marcus, he ain't gonna reply for at least 6 to 8 hours.
Do you know how hard it was for me to understand that about my brother? It took me a while. Manny, social anxiety is a bitch. It really makes it, because having social anxiety and also being the person that I am, who knows that I can piss somebody off with a couple of words in any second. Like, let's just be real. Most people wouldn't take too happy if their bedroom be called the golden shower room. I mean, come on. But that's the first. I mean, like, that's like the R. Kelly lawns that you kicking over there in London, But I can't help myself.
It was so funny though, because what was it? Marcus texts me. I didn't prompt him. He texts me on Thursday morning saying, do you want to talk about Wrestle Kingdom on the show? I was like, yeah, I've already made a graphic for you.
He's not even here, so now we're going to talk about video games. So, have you guys ever played Chivalry 2?
Is that a PS5? Is that a PlayStation exclusive?
No, it's cross-platform. This was $30, but it might eventually be on Game Pass. I don't know when, but it's $30. Pretty much, it's Back from Dead. It's the first, but it takes place in medieval times, and you're part of the blue or the red team, and you walk around with a sword hacking people.
So you're either Cripper or Blood in this game.
Pretty much. And it's amazing because you have to you actually have to try to put real sword working mechanics, like how to fight with a sword and stuff, or you just get hacked. And it's like you can see yourself surrounded by 5 of the opposing, and you might hack your way through, and somebody comes stab you in the back. I will admit, I'm a backstabber. I will stab people in the back. That's what I would do. I would chop you with an axe. F that shit. Like, it's.
You just wait for people to be overrun and just kill people, just like
exactly. Like I try to. I lurk clearly when I play first person shooters, I'm a sniper. I'll work, but like, let me.
So you're a medieval sniper.
Yeah, right. So like, I can see everybody hacking around. Here I come. Oh, and then I get pissed when somebody get me in the back. Like I'm running. I've had so much fun playing the game to the point where I was like, I should be live streaming this, but I was like, I don't feel like doing it.
It's too much effort to live stream.
It's a lot of effort, man. I barely have the effort to show up in here. Ross, what you're playing?
The minute the Guardians of the Galaxy game on Xbox Series X and Madden 2022. I just can't seem to stop.
You'll be happy to know that I have the Guardians of the Galaxy game, but it's still wrapped in plastic.
Oh man, get on it. It's really good.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
Manny,
really good.
I know you're not playing anything, but the last time you played something, what was it?
Do you know because of the new TV I bought? Now because I never had a smart TV back. I wasn't using a smart TV since till I upgraded. When my Xbox became my multimedia device. The fact that I don't need it anymore, like I'm not using it, I barely touch my Series X now. So it was the most pointless upgrade I've ever made in my life. Like I could have waited.
Manny, I'm listening to what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm cracking up with with Wes's comment.
Yeah, I know. I popped out while you were talking. I saw it.
See cigar smoke appearing.
Well, we know Marcus ain't playing any games because he don't play games no more. I really, if I wasn't going to get this iPad today, I probably would play some games today. But I mean, Ross, what type of games do you like to play? Because I asked Manny this question last week. What normally catches your interest?
I mainly play first-person shooters, Warzone, Battlefield, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm dipping into the old RPGs at the minute. The Guardians game has kind of really got my attention. But yeah, I play a lot of sports as well. NBA, 2K every year, regardless of how good or bad it is. I play it.
Yeah, I bought it twice again. I tried not to do it this year, but
I stopped playing it because the moment they made my player very what was it like transaction based, I was like, no, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, lots of VC. I enjoy it because I'm white. The character model and the whole story is very much not about white guys. And the voices.
So it's like a white guy living a black man's dream, exactly. Right there. Like, yeah, man, I got these thoughts.
I can live out my NBA dreams without having to be Dirk Nowitzki.
I will point out that I buy NBA 2K22 every year, and I've never played my player. I don't care about that.
Do you know?
I play my GM. That's what I like to play.
Oh yeah, my GM's fun. Man.
And like one of my guilty pleasures on YouTube is watching people rebuild NBA 2K franchises. Like wait, let's see what, and I'm like, shit. Why am I doing that?
Kenny 2K Tiki, something like that.
Oh, really Kitty, good. Yeah, Kitty. Yeah. His Sacramento Kings series has been really good. Yep. I was like, shit. I can't believe he traded Kristaps, but Bam was a good acquisition. And it's like I watch it like, damn.
Yeah, good TV show. I'm invested.
All West plays a Switch. GTA is still good on the Switch. I mean, it's still glitchy. I'm waiting for the physical release to come out where they'll fix all those problems.
Animal Crossing on Switch every day.
I don't think the GTA games look that good at all. Like the definitive edition stuff. It's just like this was a waste of time. Like when I looked at it, I was like, this was a complete colossal waste of time.
So the interesting thing that you may not know about Nintendo is that Nintendo is like they are publishing that game, and the rumor has it is that like Rockstar released the digital edition a lot quicker than what they wanted to, so it wasn't ready. But most people feel when the cartridge-based version comes out, Nintendo is going to make them fix a lot of the issues with the gameplay and even some of the graphics. I mean, I could care less about graphics. I just want to be able to go and run people over and do stuff. And apparently, it's very glitchy. I think didn't you miss the sale? Because I think it was like $19.99. But like the whole problem about buying 2K for the Switch is that it's going to take up all the space on your memory card. It's ridiculous.
Get a new memory card just for that.
And then I was a bit upset when like the GM mode is a little bit different on the Switch than it is on the PS5, and I was like, huh. And I kind of like the mode on the Switch better than the PS5. Manny, have you revisited the show, or did your guy retire as the greatest baseball player ever, or has it been deleted?
I dip into it every now and again, but like as I've already established, my guy's clearly on steroids.
And as it's been clearly established by professional baseball, that is clearly okay as long as they make a profit.
I think after I'm not I think within 6 years of being in the major leagues, I would have broken the home run record.
But I guess my question for you, because I have done like a lot of these player sim modes and things like that, I still think that Road to the Show is probably the best one. Would you agree with that one? Because I think it's so much fun with like how they incorporate all the outside aspects of it.
It's fun to a degree because it suddenly starts happening less and less the further the deeper you get into it. Because like
that's the problem with career modes, isn't it? It's always like a year or two at max.
Yeah, at the beginning, the agent will come and ask you a lot of these questions and stuff like that. But like when you're in your like third or fourth season in, it's like they don't even seem to care that you exist anymore.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, like it would be cool if you had a picture where you could call your agent, get me out of here. Like you can pull an AB in the situation. Like I'm tired of this place. You know, I'm hurt. I told Bruce I was hurt, but he didn't listen to me. Damn it. But like I would really love like because the last time I bought FIFA, I tried to do the My Career mode, but clearly I don't know anything about football.
And there's nothing to that My Career mode though. That like if you're looking for like what's it? What are they called? Just scenes and stuff like that, additional scenes and stuff like that to like boost your character and stuff like that, or just like visualizations of it. You're not going to get it from that. It's more. It's kind of a text-based game, like everything else outside of that.
Oh shit, the boosters in the chat. And Marcus, I will because Tom Phillips on Impact, that's a game changer, damn it. That's a game changer.
Matt Striker left, didn't he? Matt Striker left.
Shit, Tom Phillips, TP back, the most debonair man of game of professional wrestling. Marcus, I'm glad you woke from your poisonous slumber from the man inside of the pharmacy to let me know this information. You have brightened my day, Marcus, because guess what? My Impact is recorded every week. I just never hit play. I might hit play now.
Yes, I
never hit play.
So back to the FIFA conversation. My biggest gripe with FIFA was that I don't know anything about football or soccer, as we American call it. So when I'm on the pitch and they keep telling me you're out of position and they're giving me like bad grades and shit, it pisses me off. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
But that's how I used to play My Career mode on NBA 2K. Yeah, you had to learn that. I had to physically learn. Yeah, no. As soon as there was one of these things, these shields or whatever they were called on My Career, where it was the LeBron basically. Like, give me the fucking ball. As soon as I added that, I was at A+ every game.
But at the same time, is it because you think baseball is such an individual game that it's easier to play that way, where you can have your selfish tendencies come to play? And clearly, from the bleep you that Marcus told me on YouTube, he clearly hasn't heard half of the shots I've taken at him on this show. He doesn't know that he is Roman Reigns and that guy inside of CVS is Seth Rollins. He doesn't know that. Take this booster, my man. You'll feel just fine.
Baseball's the one American sport I could never get into. I don't know why.
Baseball is very American. It's the best way to describe baseball for Americans is like cricket for you guys. Like I've tried to watch.
Do you like cricket, Ross?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I used to play when I was younger. I used to watch Hampshire play a fair bit. So it's like but it's like a day out though. I suppose that's what baseball is. Like you. Yeah,
Ross, like you're 6'7". How the hell do you play cricket? Like that seems really weird because everybody I've seen play cricket are very small. Like,
I was a fast bowler. No, the height works. It's when you're bowling.
Well, you were a fast bowler at 6'7".
Yeah, all the best bowlers, all the West Indian bowlers, they're all really tall as well. Back in the day.
Yeah. And I'm assuming a bowler is the pitcher, the person that winds it up, right?
Throws the ball.
Like I think the one of the things, like when Manny first joined the show, he was explaining to me about cricket and shit, and how some matches can take days and days. I was like, "What the fuck? A day?" And I'm like, "Okay, matches. You do what you got to do."
We have tea breaks with cucumber sandwiches and tea. It's lovely.
So, do you guys have a cricket club that you support, or?
No, not really.
I just follow the England team. Like,
and they're fucking dreadful.
And I know Manny.
I'm not watching it now because I refuse to pay for BT Sport, so I'm not watching the Ashes either.
And I know Manny.
Eric, yes. So they basically when England play Australia in cricket, they play for the Ashes, and the trophy is about the size of this.
Yes, Manny. If you don't recall, I think when you first joined it, you told me about the Ashes. And I made very many jokes about the Ashes. I was like, is it like the greatest soccer player Ashes that's in that cup? Or what is it? Like, do you get possessed? So, Manny, I know you're Man U. Ross, who are you?
I'm Leeds. We're rivals, me and Manny.
Yes, I know. I the little bit of soccer that I know that. I remember Ryan was Arsenal at one point, and I was Chelsea.
Was Chelsea. You got Captain America on your team at the moment.
I know.
Yeah, with his MAGA hat and everything.
I mean, you know, as long as he can get into the semifinals of the World Cup, that's all I care about. I mean, I think the best we had is the quarterfinals. I mean, in my lifetime, it would be love if we could win the World Cup, but it only happens every 4 years. So
the World Cup in America is my favorite World Cup, by the way. That was so good. The glitz and the glamour of it was fucking amazing.
What, 94?
94 was the best World Cup. Diana Ross missing the penalty and the goal exploding in the open ceremony. Brilliant. So good.
I don't remember much from that.
Do you not? That's my favorite World Cup. It's so good.
Was the last World Cup kind of heartbreak for you guys when England was so close, but yet so far?
No, last summer was more heartbreak for me.
Yeah. World Cup and Euros have been tough, haven't they?
No, so last year was the Euros where we got to the final.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, where you guys kind of blew it.
Lost in the final, yeah.
And that was a hard day to go back into work the next day.
Yeah. It like, I wish I had the passion that you English people have about stuff like, because it seemed like it ruined everybody's day. England's scarf wasn't even wrapped around necks and shit. People were just pissed.
Oh yeah,
Eric, so what I tell you is, normally, so what came out of that Euros was racism and all that shit. But during that period, it felt like it didn't exist. Yeah.
Well,
like, people loved each other for like 2 weeks. People were like all good with each other.
I don't know much about the pitch. I really don't. But I felt that when your English manager was putting those sub-ins for the purpose of penalty kicks, I was like, I don't think I like these moves right here, because they're coming in cold. They're not really warmed up. I don't like having those people on the bench that's supposed to be the great shooters. It didn't feel right to me. And it felt, considering everything was going on with Magna and stuff like that, that it was going to be a downfall for those brothers kicking them goals. And of course it was.
Yep, you're spot on. It was a bad move. It was a very, very bad move.
But I felt like he panicked.
I remember, so there's a specific show where I think, what was it? Dodgers lost the World Series. I think Man United just took a hammering on the weekend, and then the Jets also were put on a 50 burger by the Patriots. And then we did a Tuesday show. Me and Marcus was just not having it.
Yes, I remember that. But Manny, as a Jet fan, you should know what that feels like.
Yeah, but you don't prepare for it. And then I was telling Marcus, I'm like, you should know how I feel, because Man United made it to the Europa League final. We lost on penalties, and then England went to the UEFA, what's it called? Euro 2020, whatever it was.
Clearly,
heartbreak last year.
Clearly, you're not prepared for the Jets to lose. Tells me that you're one of the most delusional fans that I know.
I know the Jets are going to lose. I know the Jets are going to lose, but I got so used to it that when other crumbles crushes you, it hurts a bit more.
Yeah.
I would say that the trio of us on this show right now, all our teams suck. Although my team, two teams,
your teams have had more success. Your teams have had more success in the last 10 years.
Yeah, we kind of won Super Bowls, but let's be honest, you guys draft bad and you guys make bad decisions. Like, literally, getting rid of Sam Darnold wasn't really one of your problems. You guys didn't have anything else around him. And, like,
to be fair,
you're in the same spot that
he went to the Panthers and he didn't do any better.
No, he was. Hey, at the beginning of the season, he looked like.
At the beginning, I was like, I miss Sam Darnold. But then towards the back end of the season, like, oh.
Yeah, but Sunshine, the number one pick in the draft, he ain't doing anything either. And his coach got fired because he kicked the kicker, which is still the greatest story of 2021.
Yeah,
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to be that good anyway.
Nah,
I didn't think any of the quarterbacks were going to be, except for Mac Jones. Mac Jones was going to be the good one.
Yeah,
because he's with
Belichick,
and he's going to have a
with the
simple
right
season.
coach. Yeah, he's done really well.
It's like, I'm not going to ask you to do much. We just need you to get out there and throw the ball when we want you to throw the ball, but everything else we're just gonna have you throw. Zach Taylor was supposed to be the savior of the Jets, the savior. You guys trade away your other first round pick.
You can't put savior on a kid like that. like as much as the Browns have put savior on
Baker.
Oh, yeah, but I think everybody knew Baker was trash when he got. It's like Johnny Manziel. They're never gonna draft good.
Well, it's just like the Jets could have drafted Baker. I think he was going to the Jets if the Browns didn't beat him to it.
And do you know he would probably been out the league already if he was with the Jets? Because you guys would not tolerate him not being able to make throws.
But like think what the Browns did for Baker Mayfield. They gave him everything. He had an offensive line. He had great wide receivers.
Yep. Fantastic.
He had a tight end.
And still the media want to blame Odell for them being bad. It's
like, they can't blame Odell. How dare they blame Odell? Like Odell has his problems, but like he was still doing his job.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot have Odell. I think it's Landry Jones. That's who they had, right?
Yeah.
And then some other, like, you can't have those receivers and say, oh, we can't win. And then let's not point out, they have a good running back, too. Yeah, you put Zach Taylor in that situation, I swear to God, he would be great.
Oh, yeah, they still got Nick Chubb, right? They still got Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb had a good season.
Yeah. All my sports eggs are in the heat basket because the Leeds are rubbish and the Seahawks are rubbish.
No, let me answer this question, Wes. I am not. Because you know what? We should have got rid of Big Ben a long time ago, or at least drafted a quarterback to replace him. Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins, they're not the answer. We missed out on so many opportunities with his tired ass being dragged out there. However, with his swan song, we having a possibility to make it the playoffs, this could be a story to write them all if you lead to Mike Tomlin to get another Super Bowl. Like, it would be amazing. And, shout out to Mike Tomlin. He coached AB for 9 seasons. And, what can you say?
Contained AB for 8 seasons.
I mean,
you know what? It'd be nice if Big Ben got a Super Bowl to write out.
It's been sad watching him play this year, though. Because
he gave the Bucs a Super Bowl.
He is known for taking things that he won't, and then he gets away with it. So he might. He might get. Oh yeah, I did that. I know who my quarterback is. I know who my quarterback was. Yeah. Like, people had a hard time with Mike Vick not being even at his house, but it was a dogfighting ring. But this man was accused of rape, not once, but twice. He's all right. I mean, I'm waiting
for the Wilson skeletons to fall out of the cupboard when he leaves. Look at there's loads there. There's bodies.
Although it was very emotional when he was crying on the field and whatnot. I was like, oh, okay. But you ain't been good since Hines Ward left. Since Troy Polamalu left and all that good stuff. So
Hines Ward, what a receiver!
Yeah, what a man!
Yeah, because he did all the dirty work, man.
Him and Steve Smith, like two of my favorite receivers.
He was like Robert Woods for the Rams.
Yeah,
Exactly, Wes. That's why I like you, man. Although you infringed on our copyright by making that bogus championship, you make a good point right here.
Did you? I don't know if this was on. I think it was on there because the moment we mentioned it, Wes appeared. We were talking about making new shirts, and I'm saying I want a DSPN title shirt, but like it coming across my shoulder, so it's like hanging off like that. And then Marcus said, yeah, and then on the sleeve we put official DSPN merch. and then as soon as we said that, Wes suddenly appeared in the chat.
Can I actually say that is actually crazy that design has not been done by WWE or AEW. That's actually a really cool shirt, like a championship, like on your quarter. Like, it will save a lot of trouble from carrying your belts to wrestling events.
I don't understand the people that do that. That just especially the people that take more than one. I was like, what are you trying to prove?
You're trying to prove that I got more money than you, and I'm a bigger wrestling fan.
Disposable income, of course.
Yeah, but they're normally by themselves.
Yes. Like walking around with a title that you can't even get in the ring and wrestle for. It's just like a very, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've considered buying Marcus a belt numerous times for his birthday because he's always talked about having a belt. But when you really think about it, at the end of the day, where are you going to really put the belt at?
Yeah, I know. Mine's kind of just sitting on top of a bookshelf at the moment. And it's like, because it used to sit there, but I was just like, it takes up too much space.
And you're like, I spent 300 pounds for this.
At the time, I spent up about 150.
Okay.
Student loan money.
It's not real money. That's all right.
It is because they take considerably amount of money, a lot of money out of my bank account every month.
You have no choice in to say, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Can you not take that out this month? It's Christmas, damn it! It's Christmas."
It's when they sent me the letter when I was earning more money above their threshold, which is like you don't have to pay it back if you don't earn a certain amount. Yeah. They sent you a letter like, "We know."
Oh, yeah,
well, how the fuck do you know?
My favorite thing, as this last 30 minutes has been everywhere, is like my student loan people. We noticed that you have not paid your loan. Would you like a forbearance? You goddamn right, I do. Reply with a yes. Yes, your repayment has been delayed for 6 months. Okay, thank you. And we're just gonna keep paying interest because I'm waiting for Joe Biden to waive those student fees. Let's do it, buddy.
My wife just paid her student loan off. Literally had her last payment in December.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at you. Congratulations for achieving a goal that many people don't ever make it to.
I think I still owe them like 14 grand.
You probably do, Manny. And the question I have for you is that whatever you went to school for, are you even in that field?
No.
Exactly.
No one is.
I work in HR. I work in HR. I've got a biomedical science degree.
Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why? Because shit, I'm about to get on the soapbox. They really expect a lot from a 17, 18-year-old once they get out of high school to have it all figured out what they're going to do with their life. Like, you know what? I think I want to be this. You haven't experienced any life outside of living with your parents and having them do everything else for them. And the next thing you know, I'm going to go to school and be a biomedic engineer. In school, you're like halfway through the process, probably 2 years. I really don't like this shit. But I've already wasted 2 years of my life, so I guess I got to finish it. And then that's how debt starts. On my DSPN shirt, I'm putting the caption C on mine. Crook. It stands for crook, Manny. Crook.
It stands for cheap. It stands for cheap. You don't want to put any money in our pockets.
Now, Manny, the DSPN championship, was that a 2021 thing or was that a 2020 thing?
I can't remember. 2020 thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we got very tired. I got very tired of having to edit those video packages together.
Well, I made this show go to at least an hour and 30 minutes, so I think we've spent enough time waffling on. Gentlemen, when is the next time a Raw Retro show will take place?
It's this next Friday, the 14th of... Yeah, it's the 14th of January. Yeah. And then we've got the Royal Rumble of 1998, which will be coming out on the following Sunday after that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dreadful Rumble.
We were going to do that live, but there may be some scheduling things with that.
When do you guys plan on watching the Royal Rumble?
Do you want to watch it with us?
Well, that depends on what time you guys are going to watch it, because, you know, I'm always about the Royal Rumble. You call me, like, are we just watching the Rumble or the whole show?
We're going to watch the Rumble and then the main event.
Which would be the casket match between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Oh, from 1998. That was a good year. I graduated high school that year. And then
we would normally do it about around 7:00, but if you, Ross, what time can you, the latest you do?
The latest I can do is whenever, literally whenever.
But what day is it? Oh, that's the question. What
Friday.
Day?
Fridays.
That's the day I watched SmackDown at Rampage.
Well, you've been off Rampage. Don't worry about
that. This Friday after rehab. So ideally, I get home after rehab roughly around when SmackDown comes, like 5:30, 6:00 my time. That's really late for you guys, though. Yeah, I would mess up your timetable. I can't do that to you guys. I just can't.
I'm awake at that time anyway. It's
Manny, I understand that you have sleeping problems.
Ross has got more of a responsibility than me.
Yes, he has a family. And Manny, all you have to do is manage the golden shower room. That's all you have to do is manage that room right there, man.
Can you that makes it sound like a strip club or like a
well, Manny, I have to tell you, there is a jar of unexplainable things in the background. I don't know what that is.
Tip jar.
G Fuel.
Oh. This episode is not sponsored by G Fuel. G Fuel, if you want to sponsor us, we are available. And I believe that a lot of our listeners and watchers would partake in taking G Fuel.
Get in touch.
And how often could you have a G Fuel ad be read by two Englishmen? Come on, man. Raw's Retro is waiting to be sponsored. Do that.
I mean,
Yeah,
the whole
open to
channel is
sponsors.
waiting to be sponsored, not just Raw's Retro.
Manny, ain't nobody trying to sponsor the Saturday show because I'll be lucky if I get 2 views unless you do all the shenanigans that you did with the descriptions again.
There's still 6 people watching. We're talking nonsense.
Did you?
Because
You
they
must have
probably
tweeted it out
logged
because
in,
other people came in,
and they probably left.
Yeah, I only put it in the mid-card mess today. So you
And you know,
did
my
you tweet
favorite
out?
thing that came in was at 12:05 when the spam message came in because I love when live spam come in. You don't get that often. You know, you're like,
Do you know
normally,
I do miss the random ones we used to get. The random girls saying we're beautiful.
yeah, we're beautiful. Check out my boobs or something like that. He was like, what?
No, telling us we look beautiful, or like hello, and me and Mark were like, oh, hello.
But the greatest thing, Ross, is that you probably have never been on the show when that happens, and the confusion that happens. Like, first of all, we know this is spam, but who are they talking to? And then everybody's like, wait a minute, I think they're talking about me.
No, but even when we do the watch-alongs, when the random people come in and type to us, it's like I'm not 100% sure till they type again if it's spam or not.
Yeah.
Can I say the day one watch along was so much fun because we had so many new voices that we had never seen that actually stuck around and watched it with us. And Manny, that was all because of your magical powers of lying to the people in the description of what this was going to be. I heard about some of the things that you typed.
No, I saw someone else do it. I saw. Do you know? You mentioned about that Englishman that did the.
Yes.
So he did. I saw what he did for Dynamite on his watch along this week, and it was the funniest thing I've ever read. I was like, "This is not a live of Dynamite, because this is not a live thing of Dynamite. You will not see the following: Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, all in the description. So if you searched any of that, that would eventually pop up."
Very clever.
The dedication that you do to become a professional YouTuber is a lot of work that I just know I don't like to do. I like to just show up, talk random nonsense with no format, and go from there. Manny, you like a little bit more.
This is what I said to Ross when he was talking about the social media. I was like, I don't know how I'd find time to do that.
But you see, Ross, Manny downplays because Manny also does like some type of structure and organization. He lies like he doesn't, but he wants some structure. And always hashtag before carry, everybody. Jerry's gonna be Manny's month. He's going back to back.
I mean, I would love if other people jumped on board with that because it'd be more funnier.
But then that means that people would have to join the mid-card mess on Facebook, and most people are not on the metaverse anymore.
No,
They're walking away from it. Anyway, that's enough. Like I said, I'm Eric. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. You can contact us at the Sharpshooters at Gmail. Don't forget, on our YouTube channel, we have all the shows. We have the Saturday show where it's just a hodgepodge of everything that happened in the week. We have Tuesday and Thursdays currently, because that might change, where we have the flagship, the Untitled Manny and Marcus show.
This is the flagship show.
Manny, I am a man that knows the truth of the things. What brought all the subscribers to the party? It was the Tuesday and the Thursday show.
Oh, shout out to all
Manny
the
and
new
Marcus
subscribers we got off of day one. It was like an addition of like 9 subscribers.
And
Welcome
now
aboard.
we have the new kids on the block who live in the old school, and that is the Retro Raw show with our very own Ross and Manny, who takes a trip to the past to talk about all the past mistakes that happened in professional wrestling that we let slide, that would never slide in 2022.
I'm forgetting how racist it was, Eric.
Blackface Gold Dust this week.
There's Gold Dust in blackface,
Yep.
and then the following week you've got Jerry the King Lawler telling people he wants Takamichinoku deported.
Manny, you need to understand, at that time of year, I don't know what year that show was, the level of sensitivity did not exist. Nowadays, man, I can't say your fingernail looks different than mine. Like, technically, I probably should be canceled for calling your bedroom a golden shower room because I'm disrespecting people who enjoy golden showers. That's what I'm probably going to get in trouble for. And I don't even know if that's the thing. And I mean no disrespect to if you do like a golden shower. I mean, it's warm, I guess. You know, it might. Anyway.
We should end it there.
This is a rat hole, Manny. Drop the bomb because I think I just dropped the bomb. See you guys next week.